Hey everyone, it's Skyline. Yeah, no, it's been a while. I'm sorry. I've been a little bit busy. I've just recently gotten back into playing some StarCraft, which is a lot of fun. I'm glad I got back into it. I've had more time now that the college semester is over, and I'm back home on break for a little while. So I've been getting into some games and trying to ladder a little bit. I did just cast a game with Enlight in it. And it was actually a pretty decent game. It's my first upload in a while, so you'll have to cut me some slack on it if I do anything wrong. I had a problem. I was clicking the mouse, and you can like distinctively hear the mouse clicks, which is kind of it's kind of a problem. I'll work out the kinks though. So glad to be back in the business. Hopefully get some more subscribers and watch my videos. All right, thanks guys. Hello everyone. Skyline StarCraft. I'm going to be doing a cast for you guys today. We have a good friend of mine, Enlight, who is spawning in the bottom as the red Protoss, and he is going against Carnifex, I guess it's light pink Zerg at the top. Both of these guys are diamond players, so I was told this is a very good game. This is my first time ever seeing it, but Enlight, I know him very well. I practice games against him. He is a very good player. Though he is playing Protoss this game, he's currently a Zerg player though. But let's see how this works out. He told me it was a very good game. So all right, looks like we're starting off very standard. The Zerg is did an assimilator trick there. It's not used as much as it has been used in the past, because normally you'll just get an Overlord on 9. But I mean, I guess it's still around. I've played a couple games where people actually do double assimilator tricks. I mean, it's whatever works really. I'm not too familiar with Zerg, seeing as how I'm a very strong Protoss player. But yeah, I mean, whatever works, honestly. But looks like we got a pretty standard opener. We have the 9 pylon, 12 gateway, and then chrono boosting the probes, queuing up 3 probes after the 12 gateway, and then he's going out to do a scout. Seeing as how this is a 4-player map, I typically like to get my scouting early, but he did his right after the gateway, which is of course fine. But he actually, and the Zerg actually is scouting as well. He went and he scouted over here earlier, so that was incorrect. So he'll be up here and he'll find Enlight's base. So the gateway is complete. I'm assuming he threw down that assimilator on 14. That's very common to do normally for whatever opening he's doing. And the Zerg did throw down his expansion. He went. Ooh, what did he go? I can't tell if he went hatch before pool or pool before hatch. I'm gonna say, I guess he threw them down at the same time, to be honest. Oh, that's interesting. But doesn't look like anything too crazy. I think the drone just died here, actually. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So Cybercore's coming down. That's actually a little bit later than I would have thought. I usually throw down right after the gateway, whenever I get my 300 minerals, or 150 minerals after I get my 2 probes. But not too delayed actually, so it shouldn't be that big of a difference. So the hatchery did go up. He has some Zerglings in production, 4 of them, and then Enlight has a Zealot coming out. So there go the 4 Zerglings. I'm assuming he's just going to send 2 to the watchtower. Oh yeah, they're going to clear this probe out of the way. I'm assuming he could send them to those 2 watchtowers there. Well, hard to say. But he might be coming up in here. I mean, Enlight's got a pretty good wall in here, so he's not going to be allowing any run-bys anytime soon. So let's take a look at the income tab here. It does look like Enlight has a lot more harvesters than Carnifex, which is interesting because Zerg, he's running off 2 bases now, so he's going to need to saturate that more. But Enlight is ahead in the harvester count, actually by a decent amount, almost by a good 10 harvesters there. But regardless, this Zerg can catch up very easily. Where is the production tab? So, static defense, the spine crawler's coming up. He's got a queen up there, and he's got a queen there, which is very, very good to have. That's interesting, though. He has the workers coming out queued up to that mineral line there. The Zergling speed coming up, very common. The little thing was freaking out in there. Huh? But he actually has a decent amount of Zerglings. So that's fairly standard. I mean, I don't think he is running on 1 gas, which I guess it was primarily only for the metabolic boost for the Zergling speed, which is alright, because he's not being sold into roaches or anything, which is good. The Zergling is going to come here and take the watchtower, though, so that is going to be very interesting. So, but Enlight did get 2 gases, so he is easily going to be able to afford sentries in the mix, as well as stalkers and zealots, which is good. So he throws down his expansion. This is actually a pretty good thing to do. That's the good thing about this map, is that it's easy to take your expansion, especially as Protoss, because there's this narrow little choke here that really isn't that hard to defend. So obviously he feels comfortable taking his expansion there, which is good, because a 2-base Protoss can afford a lot more units, such as Colossus and Colossi and whatnot. So he has 2 observers coming out. That's good. He needs to keep a scout on what's going on. Let's see what Zerg's going over here. Yeah, Zerg's really droning up here, seeing as how he needs to catch up. Let's see here. Yeah, so see, they've caught up, which is easy for Zerg to do, because you're not going to be able to make 7 probes at one time, being Protoss, which is an advantage for Zerg. But the game's actually pretty even right now. That's what I would say. So he's got an observer going over there, just going to take a look at what the Zerg is going. But the Zergling is sticking to Ling. He really doesn't have that much, to be honest, so if Enlight did a nice timing push right here, he could actually probably do some good damage. So I guess we'll see what he's going to do here. He's on 3 gate right now, and then the Forge is coming down, the Robo base. I really still have no idea what kind of build he's going for. I mean, the 3 gate, I'm expecting to see either I'm probably expecting to see Colossi, to be honest, just because there's no roaches out. Immortals probably aren't going to be a huge factor in this game, so he is going to do a timing push after scouting and seeing that there is not too much going on here. So he's got some static defense here, though. He's going to lay down some spine crawlers, and then he's got a couple Zerglings. I don't know if he can clean that up, though, is the main thing. Oh, and actually Enlight decides to back down. I don't agree with that, seeing as how I think he could do some pretty decent damage right now, but Enlight doesn't know what exactly is going on in the base, because his observer's right on the outside here, right, looking at the units. But the Roach Horn is going down, which is a very smart idea. He did transition into getting all of his gases. He is supply locked right now, though. I'm not sure if he lost an Overlord, but I don't know. But the transition into Roaches is good. But we'll see how it works out, I suppose. So Enlight does have Weapons 1 coming out. It's good to keep on top of your upgrades. It's a very good idea. I think Enlight gets a little bit supply locked himself. Throwing down some pylons around the outside of his base. That's good. So he does lay down some more warp gates, which that's actually a good idea. Gateway units are very good against Zergling, Roach primarily. Once the Zerg techs into Hydralisk, though, see, the Hydralisk din is up, so there could be some problem if the Zerg decides to invest into some Hydralisk there. They might run into some problems there for Enlight, because he is sticking primarily to gateway units and does not have a Colossus out in the way. But he did just finish his attack 1, and ground armor level 1 is on its way here, so it does look like Enlight will be doing a push, removing some of those creep tumors, trying to keep the creep from getting too far out of control, which is good. So he does have a lot of stack defense here. 3 spine claws going to do good. Those are some decently placed force fields there. He does have a lot of zealots though, so I don't think he'll be having too much trouble. Oh, so he is going to back out. The spine crawlers really did help a lot there. Static defense is a big part of what's keeping the Zerg able to keep him out of his base for now, which is a very good idea actually. So three spine crawlers is a very good idea to invest into. So the creep is actually making its way all the way over here, so he is doing a good job spraying the creep. There we go. But and here we go. Finally, I was about to say Carnifex does need to take another expansion, but excuse me there. But it is good to take this hatchery now. There is an engagement. Carnifex is moving out of the range of his spine crawls a little bit, so it does look like Enlight's trying to be careful though, because at this point, losing all of your units at this point would obviously be very bad as well. A counter push from Zerg would be devastating. And it does look like smartly Enlight has opted to go for Colossi, which is a very smart idea, seeing those Hydralisks come out. 9 Hydralisks are in production, and Enlight has a robotics facility pumping out 1 Colossi with the extended thermal lance on the way. Extended thermal lance is just, it is a must-have upgrade. It's probably one of the most important upgrades for Protoss to have, because Colossus are, in essence, not so useful unless they have that range upgrade, which makes them so useful to stand in the back and just fry away Hydralisks. And let's see if he's getting another one out. He actually does have a lot of supply, so I would not be surprised to see him lay down more gateways, to be honest, and take another expansion. He could honestly take that gold right there. Would be a real good idea. Let's go ahead and take a look at the army tab. They are actually pretty even. 132 for Enlight, and Carnifex is at 134. Enlight is a little bit supply locked right now, though, so he does need to throw down some pilots, but I would advise taking another expansion here. But it looks like Carnifex has a huge army of Hydralisks and Roaches, is what he's transitioned to right now. He has no upgrades, though, which is very important to take a look at. Well, Enlight has Weapons 2 coming up, which is huge. So Enlight's going to be doing another push. Yes, he did see that expansion there. It is vulnerable. He moved his observer over there. Let's see. Alright, so he's deciding if he wants to push in or not. His units are there waiting to take the gold, so I'm not sure if Zerg has vision of what's moving around out there. Oh, he does have vision. He has that tower, so he's just waiting. I would give the advantage to Zerg right now, though, even though Zerg has no upgrades. But those Colossi are going to do damage over time if he lets them sit back and he doesn't target them. What he really needs to get is some Corruptors out, so he can deal with those Colossi. So right now he's going to go out and he's going to destroy this expansion, which is actually a pretty big thing. But Carnifex did take the expansion over here, but Enlight did take a natural expansion over here at the east. So that is probably most likely going to go unscouted, which is very big. And he is moving up to take out the main expansion, which I think he actually saw one of the main starting bases was unprotected as well. So this is big, knocking out 2 expansions. That's a pretty good trade-off there, and considering he has not lost any units. So that's a fairly good trade-off. I don't know why Carnifex is afraid to move out, per se, is really what, I don't know. But he does have 1/1 upgrade for both Roaches and Hydralisks, so that is actually very good. He still has, he's not investing into upgrades for his Zerglings quite yet. So I guess, honestly, we can see if he's going to transition into anything else. I mean, I would expect some Ultras to come out if he has Hive Tech. Does he? Yes, he does. He has Hive Tech. So, I mean, I honestly would not be surprised if some Ultras came out. But, let's see. I mean, it's not too far of a game. I would have to say, I mean, it's still a pretty even game, to be honest. Enlight has more income right now, just because this gold is not saturated whatsoever.